everyone breathe.
I'm so happy to be in Eastern Europe. I grew up kind of sort of in Eastern Europe in Poland, so I feel like I'm at home. So it's my first time here in Bucharest. So thank you for having me, guys. I'm really excited to be here.
Everyone's really excited to have you here, Paul. It's a pleasure to be sat here with you today. Should we get started with some questions before you guys get involved in questions? Let me ask them a couple and then start lining up and get your questions ready. So, Mr. Wesley.
Guys, thank you for coming. I really appreciate this. There's so many of you. This is very flattering. I love it. All right,
so. I'm flattered as well. So, to start off with, you were cast whilst you were still in high school, if I'm not mistaken, in the soap opera Guiding Lights?
Yes.
How did you navigate juggling growing up with finding yourself in the industry?
Yeah, that's a really good question. This is great. Usually they say, who do you want Stefan to be with later? This is a real question. I like this. No, actually it was not easy. I went to 3 different high schools. And I got lucky because I grew up 45 minutes away from New York City. And New York City, as you know, is like, obviously there's a lot of acting, theater, a lot of opportunity. So I feel that I was a product of a little bit of luck in that I was able to go to New York. But yeah, it was not easy. I had to I got kicked out of school because I wasn't going to school, actually, because I was not able to attend classes because I was acting. So it was not easy, but I think it was really worth it. And for me, I think acting was a big escape from sort of high school drama. You know, I didn't have an easy time in high school, and I think for me finding acting was a big sort of relief. Yeah, and a release, yeah, exactly.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So, in 2014, you co-starred in and produced Before I Disappear.
Yes.
Was that your first experience being a producer?
Yeah.
What was the difference being behind the camera as opposed to in front of the camera?
Yeah, I mean, I think when you've been acting for a while and you've done a fair amount of work in front of the camera, you start to have the liberty of being able to look around and think to yourself, okay, how do I make this happen as opposed to, being hired, being an actor for hire? How can I be sort of involved in the process of finding the material? And I got lucky. A friend of mine, asked me to produce it, and he had just won an Oscar for Best Short Film, and he was adapting it into a feature. And so we made it together. It was really his baby, but I was involved in sort of the script and casting the actors and such. And now I do that pretty often. I have a production company and we make TV shows. We haven't had anything on the air yet, unfortunately, but we've sold a ton of stuff, and so just hoping any day now. But yeah, it's nice to sort of just be involved in the material so that you can control it a little bit more.
Did you feel, just a segue from there, did you feel more pressure, or do you feel more pressure as an actor, if any, or as a producer? Where do you feel the kind of responsibility falls more?
I mean, I guess when you're an actor, if you don't, get there, or you don't find an emotion, or you're not connected to the character, no one's gonna watch. And that's scary, especially when you're doing theater.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Like every night, you forget a line, it's over. It's like this. So I mean, you forget lines all the time. You just improv your way out of it. But like, I think there's more pressure.
Yeah. In performance, I think because it's more of a personal experience. The producer has this idea of looking at the whole picture, and he's not personally invested.
Exactly. It's much more vulnerable. It's a much more vulnerable position.
So before I go to you guys, I've just got one more question to ask him, because I'm curious myself. There is, as a fellow actor and a fellow peer, there's an age-old saying, it's the actor's job to never judge his character, so there are no biases on either side. Did you find, how did I word this earlier? Did you find your role as Stefan Salvadori taught you anything about yourself, or did you find it was just a transition of putting yourself into the character? Did you learn anything in the process?
Yeah, I mean, I think after 8 years, you inevitably find some relatability. It's hard to find something that's, relatable about yourself to a 160-year-old blood-sucking high school, 160-year-old man in high school. It's always odd. Yeah, it's kind of true though, right? So no, but I think the whole sort of vampire or even superhero, all the big superheroes, Superman, Batman, Vampire Diaries, whatever, it's all kind of a symbolism for, I think, something else. So for me, I think Vampire Diaries was about, these two guys who were in this town who were different, and I think for me, like, the whole vampire thing is sort of escapism, and so people watch it because they think, oh, this is a form of like escaping the high school sort of cliche, and so he's the outsider, he's the kind of the mysterious, and so I guess I felt like an outsider in high school, and for me, I was able to relate in that sense.
There's a nice thing, I suppose, as well, that it kind of glorified and normalized being an outsider.
Yes.
There's a nice symbology and a metaphor for that, and I think a lot of people can probably identify with that aspect too.
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Well, guys, enough from me, because I could keep talking for hours. Please, are you guys ready for your questions? I know that you guys honestly asked some of the most brilliant questions. Last time I was here last year, some of the most thought-provoking questions. So step on up and ask the brilliant Paul Wesley what you want to ask him.
Hello.
We can't hear you.
Uh-oh. Oh, there you go.
Okay. Yes. Before everybody gets to the Vampire Diaries questions, I want to ask you about Tell Me a Story.
Ooh, yeah.
Okay.
Do they have that in Romania?
Yes, it's on HBO.
In Romania?
Yes.
Oh shit.
Yes.
That's great. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I'm curious, what other stories would you like to see transposed in next series, and what character would you like from that series?
Oh, well, I actually know which stories are going to be season 2 stories, but I'm not going to say. So for those of you who don't know, there's a new show that I did last year called Tell Me a Story, which I didn't know was in Romania, so that's exciting. And it's a show that takes fairy tales and puts them in modern day, and it turns it into like adult psychological horror. So last year I played one of the little pigs in the Three Little Pigs, and he was he wasn't a pig this time. He was he was actually a guy who robbed a jewelry store and put on a pig mask, and they accidentally killed someone. And that husband was seeking revenge and tried to find us. He was the wolf in the story. So you can see they create these sort of modern day. Yeah. So anyway, what stories? So I know what they're gonna do next year. But I can't say because they'll kill me because I'm sure they're gonna announce it or something. But what I can tell you is that my favorite story as a kid, I guess. Well, I really like Little Red Riding Hood. Not because I feel like Little Red Riding Hood, but because I sort of think the woods are sort of, but I would like to see a modern day adult psychological Peter Pan. I think that would be really, really interesting.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think it would be interesting to twist that into a sort of adult horror. And I think it could be really bizarre and unusual.
Playing Peter Pan or Captain Hook?
Sorry?
Playing Peter Pan or Captain Hook?
Right, good question. I think Peter Pan.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks a lot.
I was going to say, because there's a dark aspect to Peter Pan, right? I mean, I heard that the whole story, sorry to ruin it for kids, maybe kids cover your ears if they're parents. The whole idea is that Peter Pan was traveling with the lost souls were children, sadly, who had passed, and taking them to Neverland was where they'd never grow old, is because it was a version of heaven.
Wow.
So actually, there's a real depth, and a real like sad truth, and a beautiful truth to Peter Pan.
I think that all the really great stories are all sort of, they have a deeper meaning. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you for your question.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm Paul. But my one to ask is not going to be related with the Vampire Diaries, even
Okay.
though it's my favorite show.
Okay.
Alright.
Okay.
Okay. People usually tell me what I can and cannot do, and I wanted to become a pilot someday.
Wow.
They told me to give up because I can't. I won. And then I was at 17 having my first solo flight, and then...
Wow.
And
Congratulations.
It's amazing.
Thank you.
Oh my God. You solo flight? You flew alone at 17? Oh my
And I
God.
still do that.
Oh my God.
And at 18, I jumped out of a plane for the first time alone.
Not while you were on the solo flight.
But I wouldn't mind.
Wait, the plane.
Okay, and I think that I had like this inner willing to become an actress,
Yeah.
and now I'm facing the hate again. People tell me that if you don't have a background in acting, you cannot attend a casting or something. Is it true?
Well, I don't think so. I don't think they look at qualifications or, you know, nobody says, I mean, I was reading an interview with British actress. She was just in God, why can't I think of her name? She was just in the movie with Emma Stone, and she won the Oscar.
Oh God, now I look really bad because I'm actually British. From The Favourite.
Exactly, The Favourite. What's her name?
Oh, come on, someone. Not Rachel Weisz.
The other one, the Queen.
Olivia Colman.
Olivia
I'm so
Colman.
sorry.
Yeah,
I'm going to British hell.
I couldn't think of it. So Olivia Colman was doing this interview that I was reading it, and she said that they're like, so what's your method? What do you do? What have you studied? And she's like, I don't have a method. I just feel it. I do whatever, you know. And I'm not saying that's good for everyone, but what I thought was very interesting was that there's so many theories and so many methods, and Olivia Colman's like, no, I just feel it. I've never trained. I'm not interested in methods. I just sort of feel whatever makes sense to me, I do it. So I think the point is there's no academic 1 + 1 = 2. There is always, everyone has their own personal journey, and you need to find that journey, and that can be authentic to you, and that's all that matters.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I love you guys.
Thank you.
Okay, well, let me go.
This is related to you as a director.
Okay.
If you could direct any movie ever that was ever made, what would it be and what would you change about it?
Well, I certainly wouldn't want to direct any great movies that have already been made because I would absolutely screw them up. But I mean, I think that like my favorite directors are directors that surprise me. If you look at like Stanley Kubrick, for example, the guy was making revolutionary movies. He would do like 2001: A Space Odyssey, which everyone was like, what is this? And now we all watch it over and over. And then he would make like, I don't know, Full Metal Jacket, and then he would make The Shining. Every movie is unique, and you know you're watching a Stanley Kubrick film. So I guess my answer to your question is, I don't know if I'm answering your question actually. I don't know if I would take any movie, but what I will say is that I think in my wildest dreams, I would love to emulate someone like that who always surprises audiences and never does the same thing, because I think that's safety and that's boring. Yeah.
Interesting fact about Stanley Kubrick, just a bit of trivia for you guys. Stanley Kubrick had an IQ of 200, and if you watch The Shining, apparently he made it so if you watch The Shining backwards and layered it on top of the story of The Shining going front ways, they were connected. The symbology would coincide with the scene. Everything was so meticulously done that he made sense out of it backwards as well as forwards.
Wow.
Interesting fact.
Wow.
Anyway, be quiet, Stas. Hi.
No, it's amazing. Hi.
So my question for you is, which one do you prefer, Stelena or Steroline?
I knew this was coming. You know, every time I go to a convention, I get asked this question, and I always say the opposite of what I said the last time. I just think it's kind of fun. I don't really have an opinion. Well, I'm going to answer. I do have an opinion. I'm going to tell you.
Okay,
It's like
but
Sophie's
please be honest.
choice. Okay, so basically, my answer to that question is that the love that Stefan and Elena had in the beginning of the series is the original, original great love that I think was the sort of foundation of the show. You know what I mean? And so I think that there's something kind of something that we should all really kind of embrace about that. That's my answer to your question. You take what you want from my answer.
Thank you, I love you.
Thank you.
Hi, Paul.
Hello.
How do you feel about the ending of The Vampire Diaries?
For those of you who haven't seen it, spoiler alert, I die. Did I ruin it for anyone? I would assume not, but probably for you.
Yeah, most likely.
But in any case, I actually feel really good about it. I think Ian was upset because he also wanted to die. Because we thought it was like, I mean, we all want to be kind of heroes, you know, whatever. And I think both Ian and I wanted the brothers to sort of die together because we had created so much chaos, and we had, you know, I mean, if you really watch all 8 seasons, I've killed a lot of people, you know, like.
I watched it 5 times.
Oh wow, that's a lot of, that's, wow. Wow.
Wow.
That's very impressive. Not in a row, right?
You make time for school, yeah?
Season 1 to season 8, 5 times.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. Yeah, that's, wow. So no, well, how do you feel? So, as someone who's seen it way more than I have, how do you feel about it?
I cried harder.
But are you
every
happy?
time.
But are you happy with how it ended? No. What would you like to have seen?
I was a Stelena fan all the way.
Yeah.
I wanted to see Stefan and Elena together.
Oh yeah.
At the end.
Yeah, I know. What the hell? Yeah, they didn't do that, did they? It was very. I thought maybe we would have more of a connection there at the end. Anyway, I do think that it's good that he died, though. I think Damon should have died too. That's my personal opinion. It's the only thing I would have changed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hello.
So my question is, which are the most important things for you in your life?
Sorry, repeat that.
Which are the most important things for you in your life?
I think
Is a hard one.
no, it's good. It's a good question. I think the most important thing is no, but I think being a kind person. I think being a person that I can be in a bad mood. I can be a bit of a jerk sometimes. I can, you know, but I think overall being a good person is very important. Having the right intention, not hurting others intentionally, not, you know, trying to be a better person is important. And knowing who's important to you, who you love, who's in your life that you care about. And I do think you have to have fulfillment in what you do, whether it's whatever it is. I don't think it's important. I don't think it has to be, oh, I need to be an actor on a big TV show. Like, I think everyone has a different thing that they need to fulfill in their life, and I think it's important to know what that is. And for me, I have to have some sort of artistic fulfillment, otherwise I feel very incomplete, you know, and sometimes I struggle with finding a project to be passionate about, but I have to constantly be searching for something, otherwise I feel kind of like, what am I doing, you know?
Thank you. Have a great time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
So, what was your favorite character to play in the Vampire Diaries the most, and why?
Oh, I played 3 of them.
Silas,
Tom the medic,
yes, a normal guy.
just a normal guy. How'd he die? Who killed him? Someone killed him. Do you guys know?
Yes,
Who?
I don't remember.
Enzo? Son of a bitch. Didn't I kill Enzo as well? Yes. So payback for Tom.
You really hard.
I did.
Yeah.
Did he? And he's gone forever?
Yes.
Great. Listen, I like playing Ripper Stefan
Yes.
the most. And original Stefan. Silas was cool, but Ripper Stefan was the best. And then the original crying, emotional Stefan was a little, sensitive.
Baby stuff.
Little baby stuff. And I really enjoyed playing that Stefan in 1864, the flashbacks in the period clothing before we were, I really enjoyed playing the character during the 1860s. I thought it was awesome. And the 1920s. What's up?
No. I said that was a great scene.
Oh yeah, good, thank you.
Something vintage.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you.
Hi, Paul.
Hello.
As you said, you are involved in theater. I also am involved in theater.
Oh, cool.
And I've been for some years. I've also published 3 books.
Really?
But yes, but as a huge fan of the Vampire Diaries since I was 10, I wanted to ask you if you could tell us one of your greatest memories from the Vampire Diaries.
Greatest memory. I do think like in general, the friendships you form are the greatest memory. Like for me, I really feel very close to pretty much everyone I worked with for the most part. Some people I don't like, but I won't tell you who. Pretty much everyone. But yeah, I talk to, all of my ex-co-stars fairly often, and I don't think that's, what's cool is that like when you're working with someone every day, you kind of take them for granted, but then when the show is finished and you don't see anyone for a year, you start going, oh man, I really miss this person, or I had such a nice time. And I think for me, I have some really nice memories with Ian and Nina, just sort of like traveling all over Europe, doing promotion and doing events, and we were on like a little journey together, and I think that's my best memory,
Okay, thank you. I love you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hello.
My question for you is, how did you feel like when you had to say goodbye to the Vampire Diaries cast after 8 years of working together?
Honestly, I think I wanted the show to end. I think after 8 years, it was too much. It was like, come on, this show. I don't know how Supernatural did it. They were on for 25 years or something. What's that? 14? No, more than 14. Still, come on, that's ridiculous. But I think it's cool. It's just, I think we ran out of stories to tell. And I think everyone had done everything at that point, and I think it was time to say goodbye. So I was ready. I was very, very ready to say goodbye. But at the same time, I didn't understand what I was going to do in my life, and so I was like, oh my God, I need to move. I need to do this, and I'm going to do another show. What am I doing? So it was a little bit of a confusing and stressful time. But at the same time, I was very sort of ready for it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Paul.
Hello.
I was wondering, what do you miss the most about the Vampire Diaries, or who?
Chris Wood's abs. No.
We all miss them.
We all do. All of us here in Romania. Chris Wood, it's a message for you. I mean, there's certain things I don't miss, but I think what I said before, just some of the people. Other than that, I don't miss the character that much, to be honest with you. I don't really want to bring him back ever. If they had a reunion or some Vampire Diaries movie, or they wanted to do something, I would say no, because it's just I don't really want to. Also, I'm too old. Look at me. I can't play Stefan anymore. He's not supposed to age. I can play his father. That'd be cool.
I'll play Stefan.
And you can play Stefan.
We've done it, guys. Call the producers. It's happening right
So
now.
We're leaving.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hello, brother.
Hello.
I tried to sound like
I'm your brother? Oh,
I tried to sound like Damon.
you did well. You did well.
Okay, my question. What can you tell us about the new project? I mean, will you play a new character in Tell Me a Story Season 2?
Maybe. Yeah, so I have something that I'm doing, that I'm about to start doing, and I asked them, I said, can I talk about it? And they said, no, not yet, we want to make an announcement. So I have something, it's really cool, it's very exciting, but I can't say what it is, so I can't tell you. I told you I'd have to kill you. So I can't do that.
Thank you.
So, all right, thank you.
Hey guys, hey Paul. I won't say hello brother, although it's got its own hashtag. I don't even know that.
Did it?
Yeah, it did.
Nice.
Anyway, so you said you pretty much wanted everybody on the show dead. The brothers, like, yeah?
What do you mean I wanted everyone
You
dead?
wanted Stefan to die, you wanted Damon to die, you wanted everybody dead.
Yeah, not everyone, just the two of them. Just the two of them.
Were you conflicted at all about your character's death? I mean, Damon got to live a normal human life, although it's beyond me why a vampire would choose to give up immortality, but whatever.
Yeah.
Do you think Stefan deserved that too? Or was it sort of redemption?
I don't know. Like, I think redemption. I also think Stefan, like, I don't think he was that happy. He was always kind of like, I think he, like, it was time to go.
He was depressed, but there are pills for that, you know? I mean,
There are pills for that, you're right. You're right.
Are you a doctor? Because I'm not sure if you're legal enough to say that.
No, but I think, like, you know, I don't, and I think Ian, or Damon rather, you know, the final scene where the two brothers hugged, like, I think that was them in the heaven, right? So I think, like,
actual closure.
yeah, I think, like, eventually everyone's ends up there. I think he just was like, and I like that he was the hero who kind of sacrificed himself for everyone else. It's a better ending to 8 years, you know? I think Ian's the one he was not happy about it.
Him and the fandom, too.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
No, but I think overall people were pretty happy with the finale, don't you think?
You think?
I don't know. I don't watch Game of Thrones, but apparently some people are unhappy.
All right. Remember Throne.
No, I'm joking. I'm just creating. Okay.
I'm just creating
I
a
didn't
shoot.
really watch it, but I hear. I've actually just started watching it, but I hear that the finale. There's a lot of discussions about it, and a lot of like. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. You and I are the only people on Earth that haven't seen the finale. But like, I feel like in general, people were pretty happy with the Vampire Diaries finale. No?
Newsflash, and I don't want to get you in trouble with Kill the Black or anything, but fandom was really pissed at
Really?
the ending of DVD and the originals.
Really? What would you have preferred?
What would I have preferred?
Yes.
Not that they remain vampires forever. I mean, that's the whole thing of being a vampire, right? You get to live forever, not die of old age.
I don't know. Don't you want something a little more?
But not like that.
Okay.
Not
Okay.
going to happen. Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. Oh no. Hi.
Can I hug you?
Oh. Okay. All right. Come on up. You can hug me. But you gotta have to jump up the stage. You really gotta jump.
There we go.
Uh-oh. She's crying though. This isn't my fault, guys. Don't fall.
Let's get you.
Okay. Hug her and then she falls off.
We're not insured, so that's safety first. Okay.
Lawsuit. Hugs me and then she sues me. Hello.
Hello. What do you think of the originals?
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Okay.
I haven't watched the originals. I know I acted in one episode, but I really only read that episode. So I don't really know what to say. Do you like it?
Yes.
Is it better than Vampire Diaries?
Oh, careful.
You're gonna plead the Fifth Amendment. Anyway, yeah, no, I don't know. I haven't, you know. Yeah, I was too busy with my show. I couldn't, too much. That would have been too much, and my brain would have exploded from vampirism.
But you need to watch it, it's super cool.
Yeah?
Yes.
All right, I'll consider that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. I love you.
Thank you.
Hi, Paul.
Hello.
Welcome to Romania.
Thank you.
And my question, which is your favorite season from the Vampire Diaries?
Good question. For me personally, selfishly, 3. But for the show, I think 1 and 2.
Yeah, thank you so much. I love you.
Thank you. Hello.
If you hadn't played Stefan, who would you like to play?
I think Elijah was a dope character. With the suit, you got to wear the suit. That was good, huh? He's good. He was good. He played that well. Yeah.
Thank you.
Who was your favorite character? Be careful. Oh. Leave. No, it's okay. It's okay.
What was your reaction when you saw that you were gonna die?
Actually, I cried of happiness. No, but I did cry a little bit. Not because I was going to die, because I actually knew I was going to die, because I talked to him about it and asked him if I could die. I said, guys, please, you have to kill Stefan. True story. I cried at the end of it just because I knew it was the last time I was ever going to meet him. Right? I was like, okay, this is the last time I'll ever read this script of this show. And that was sad. And I thought it was really well written, actually. That's it. That's my answer.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Paul.
Hello.
This is my first time being here to the Festival Comic Con. I'm super excited. I'm gonna be cosplaying Steven Universe.
Nice. Very cool. All right.
So my question is, what was your favorite Marvel character?
Marvel character. Shit. I have a confession, guys.
No, don't say it.
I do prefer DC. But I also don't really, for me, like, I don't, other than Batman, who I love, I don't really know a lot of Marvel characters.
Batman's DC.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Sorry, Batman. That's the one I love. DC. Sorry. I don't really know Marvel characters. Like, I don't really, who's Marvel? Like, what is Marvel? Like, Stan Lee's Marvel, right?
Yeah.
So Stan Lee did Spider-Man, and he did, see, I don't know what those characters. Is Iron Man and all that jazz?
Yeah.
All that stuff. Captain America?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, all that jazz. The problem is I haven't seen any of those movies.
One last question. Can I hug you?
Yes, but no more hugging because everyone's gonna get upset.
Okay.
Sorry.
Hello.
And I'll be doing hugs for everyone. Free hugs. I'll start.
Free hugs booth.
We should do. That's what I was just saying. We should start a free hugs booth. With you though. With you.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Everyone wants to hug you. Good-looking guy. Yes. Hi.
Do you still keep in touch with anyone from the Vampire Diaries?
Yes, everyone. No, not everyone. For sure, Ian and Nina. Very close with them. I'm trying to think who do I talk to? Chris Wood. Who's on the show? Oh, Candace. Love Candace. In fact, I'm going to see her next week. Cat Graham, I text. Love Cat. Who else is on the show?
Enzo.
Oh yeah, love Malarkey. That's my core people that I text with still. I still text with Matt Davis a lot, once in a while. A lot of texting. I'm a millennial.
A lot of texting.
A lot of texting. Don't
emojis.
call me, text me. For a quick response. It's so texting these days. It's just you can multitask. Like talking on the phone, I really have to focus on you, and I can't be doing anything else. Texting, I can do 9 other things. You know, it's an awful thing, but it's true. So yeah, I text with all those people.
Thank you.
Thanks. Hello.
Yeah. So I want to tell you, as a both fan of you two, as Game of Thrones and Vampire Diaries, I want to say that yes, the ending of Vampire Diaries is a whole lot better. Like.
Oh really?
I
Don't
cried.
ruin it for me.
I cried for a week. My favorite character died, and I just cried a lot.
Okay, but what's the controversy? Don't say anything, but like, what's the problem with it? Because I don't know anything. I have to watch. I only seen season 1, but what is? Okay. What's the problem? Why is everyone upset? I don't know anything about it.
No spoilers. I can't say it without spoilers.
Okay. You can't say without spoilers.
It was rushed, right? It was rushed.
Yes, very rushed.
That's the
And we miss
consensus.
you.
Yeah, I know. I missed me too. I was like, is that? No, it's not me. Is that? No, it's not me. My mother was like, Stas, are you sure you're in the last season of Game of Thrones? She's Russian. I was like, I think so.
Yeah.
They paid me, so I think so.
Wait, were you?
Yeah, I was. We just met just now, by the way. He's not being rude. We just met.
I don't know, but I didn't see it.
My actual question was stolen, and I just made up one. Who do you like most? Not like as a character, Elena or Caroline. My personal favorite is Caroline, but what about you?
Not as a character? So
Just
as a human being?
As a character.
Oh, as a character.
Yeah,
That's a good question.
like their actions and...
Right, their actions and who they are. Yeah. But Caroline season 1 and 2 was kind of not that
Yeah,
great.
but then she became so brave
Then
and
she became great.
confident and fearless. And
So maybe her later.
Yeah.
Her in the later.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Proud.
You and I. Connection. We agree. I'm not allowed to hug anymore.
Someone's gonna fire me if he's giving hugs. I'm giving hugs. Let's do this. Come on. Oh, that was the biggest hug. That's the best hug for my queen. Thank you. It's okay.
She almost took, dude, you almost went down.
I know, I almost went down.
Nice, impressive.
I exercise.
He's an impressive
sometimes.
guy.
I exercise.
Good morning, Paul.
Good morning.
See you again.
Nice to see you.
We met back in 2014.
2014?
Yeah.
Where'd we meet? That one night.
That one
It was a
beautiful.
wild night in Romania.
Actually, there were 3 weekends in
Oh, really? Well,
Oh, 3 weekends
What?
together, huh?
Brussels, Paris, and Barcelona.
We went all over together, didn't
Yeah.
we?
Hi, Stas.
Thank you.
So, going back to, you were mentioning Supernatural earlier. A few years ago, I was talking to Misha Collins in Vancouver, and he was telling me that Justin and Europe are huge pranksters on set, and they like to torture him a lot. So I was wondering, on the Vampire Diaries set, who was the biggest prankster?
Honestly, the crew would prank Ian all the time. One time they bought these, Ian used to be a model. Just look at him, he's so pretty. And there's all these like ridiculous modeling photos of Ian from when he's like in his like late teens, early 20s. And there's one where he's like laying nude.
Google it.
Like ass sticking out, like, and, I mean, it looks ridiculous. And one of the crew had a T-shirt made with that photo, and everyone wore the T-shirt. But they didn't. He did. They basically. He was doing it in the middle of doing a scene, and he looked up, and the whole crew had T-shirts with his old modeling picture. That was pretty good. I wasn't there for it, but.
Was he able to carry on the scene?
No, he like completely panicked. He didn't know what was coming. That's pretty good. Thank you.
Hi, Paul. I want
Hello.
to know something. The true love was Delina or Delina? Because then Damon wanted it.
Wait, what?
The true love was Delina or Delina?
Oh,
Because
still in it.
was Delina or Delina?
Still in it.
He's staring at you.
Still in it.
Still it.
Still
Still it.
Still
Still it.
Still
Still it.
Still
Thank you.
That's good. No, that's good. Still in, for me, still in, okay? That's for me the true love, okay? Sorry to break it to you. Are you dressed like Elena, by the way? You kind of have the Elena vibe with the leather jacket and then the... What? Yeah, you kind of have the vibe. Yeah.
Hi, it's nice to meet you.
Hello.
I was wondering, as an actor, when you watch other TV shows or films, are you able to distance yourself from your profession and watch it as a fan, or do you think about it from a technical point of view?
Good question. Do you know what's interesting is when I watch a movie and I don't watch it from a technical point of view, I catch myself sometimes and I'm upset that I hadn't been watching it from a technical point of view because I feel like I'm being lazy. So sometimes I'm watching something and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. And I'm like, wait, what am I doing? I need to focus. How did they direct this? Let me see that shot. Oh, what did they do with the camera? What can I learn from this? How did that actor do that? And so I feel like I have to watch it from a technical point of view so that I can learn and be better. But sometimes I naturally get lost. And if I can get naturally lost, oh man, that's a rarity, but it's amazing, you know? But it really takes a good movie. It really takes a good movie or a TV show.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Hello.
How about you? Sorry.
I completely agree. I think it's an absolute art form when they can create such a world and such an experience that you stop trying to analyze it. But it's very hard because I find myself rewinding bits and be like, I really loved what they did there, whether it's the framing that you said, or the shot, or the nuanced performance. So it's hard, isn't it? Because it's like we all start off being fans of fantasy and creativity, and then it's where these imaginations birth the need to act. So it's always a shame when you overanalyze things, but it's hard not to when it's your job.
Yeah, I agree.
So my question is, what's the best advice you have ever received, and who was it from?
Huh. You know, one time I was really depressed and I called my grandfather and I kept complaining to him about how depressed I was. And I was like, and my grandfather said something to the extent of like, and I don't remember the exact quote because it was in Polish, but he said that like only a foolish man knows is stuck in prison, and like all he thinks about is that he's in prison and that he's and tortures himself. And the wise man makes the best of everything. And my grandfather kind of like he would always kind of give me these little pieces of advice, and it kind of made me he would make me see things differently. He's a World War II survivor. He was, you know. He's been through traumatic experiences in his life, and he's always figured out a way to make the best of them. And it kind of allows me to put things into perspective whenever he's no longer alive, but we would talk all the time, and he would always sort of make me realize how stupid and sort of petty I was being because I have such a privileged life, you know, and he would always put things into perspective for me. Thanks.
It's a cultural thing as well.
Yeah.
We are so lucky nowadays. We're so overprivileged, whether that's with social media or the the luxury of being able to choose a job we love, getting the opportunity to go for a job we love. I think that breeds that kind of complacency sometimes.
Yeah, also everything is so accessible these days, you know? It's just like, oh my God, you pick up your phone, you have, I don't know if you can
buy something.
Anything, Amazon.com, I can have anything delivered, I can have any food delivered to me, I can do, you know, it's like any piece of information that I want, I can just look it up. I don't need to really think about it. I don't need to process it. I mean, we live in a very unusual time. Yeah.
It has its own flaws in itself, but difficulties. But
absolutely. And then positives.
Sure.
Yeah. Anywho.
Hello, Paul.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm fine. Do you have any gossip or tea to
Oh,
say
I have gossip. Oh yeah, so much gossip.
about the behind the scenes of the Vampire Diaries? Gossip about anyone?
Ooh, like bad things?
Yeah.
Ooh, I better tell everyone here. That would be No, I don't like gossip. Gossip.
Just behind the scenes stuff. Doesn't have to be bad.
I'm sure I have lots of stuff, but I can't think of anything at this exact moment. I'll have to get back to you on that one. That's an on-the-spot question.
Okay. And also, what do you think about Klaus Michelson's character?
I mean, he yells a lot. He's always yelling, isn't he?
Yeah.
He needs to stop yelling.
Yeah.
He needs to I think if he just stopped yelling, people would maybe listen to him a little bit more. That's my opinion about Klaus Michelson.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Hello.
So, from your point of view, which was the best moment from the Vampire Diaries that you really appreciated and somehow changed the way you see things in life?
That's a good question. Jeez, good. Wow. I mean, I don't know. I think I tell you, as an actor, I had all these epiphanies on the Vampire Diaries. When I first got the job, I was like, I was really thinking about being 160 years old and what does that mean, and and I would overanalyze things, and I was constantly trying to play. I was trying to find this character, and then there was this one scene where Ian and I were playing like darts in a bar, and I just was like, you know what? I'm just gonna talk to him like he's Ian, like he's my friend, and we're just gonna play darts. And I'm just gonna have fun with him. I'm gonna just sort of let him. And I just remember everyone calling me, that was such a great scene. You guys really were natural, and you guys really spoke. So I think for me, what I realized is that sometimes I learned a lot of lessons about acting. Sometimes it's okay to be simple, and sometimes it's okay to just be present and with a human being, as opposed to making something a big presentation. And I think for me, I went through a lot of sort of epiphanies on the show.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. She's made it. Go.
Hi, Paul. I want to ask you, how is the transition from Stefan to Eddie from Tell Me a Story? Have you enjoyed the change, or has it been difficult?
No, it's difficult. Everything's difficult. It's not an easy task to play anyone, but I think for me, like, just playing someone my age, and also playing someone who's not a supernatural character and is just a real human being with human flaws and human weaknesses, and if someone breaks his arm, it's broken, it just doesn't go magically, that's big. You have to, just playing someone who's a human being was really nice. I know it sounds small and simple, but after 8 years of playing a vampire, you really don't want to do that probably ever again. So I really loved it.
And I also wanted to ask, what did you learn from your experience as a director, and you didn't know from your experience as an actor?
Well, actually, there was a very interesting thing. It's as I started directing, I realized so quickly that, well, first of all, actors are such an important part of the production, obviously, one of the most important. But I also realized that sometimes as an actor, you can get stuck in your own mind, and you can really think you're doing the right thing, and you're fighting for it, but you're just so unaware of bigger picture. They're so unaware of the bigger story that there is to tell. There's a long story, there's a big 1 hour story with other characters, there's a giant sort of heartbeat, and you're just like one of the kernels. And I think we can get so stuck in our minds about the way a scene has to be done with no regard for the entire big picture. So it made me realize that sometimes I can be a bit arrogant about that. Yeah.
What do you consider yourself more, an actor, a producer, or a director, and why?
I think I've had the most success as an actor. It's the thing I've been doing the longest. But I think deep in my heart, I probably enjoy directing just as much. I just haven't had the same level of success yet, I think.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Guys, I'm afraid, sadly, this is all we have time for, but thank you so much.
Guys, I really enjoyed that. Thank you so much for your questions.
Please put it together for everyone else. Mr. Paul Wesley.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Have a good evening. Come say hello.